How you going, guys? So welcome back to another video. This should be 90, I think. So in the last sort of couple of videos, first, well, the one two ago, 88. I was doing a couple of things, then I started planning out to make this. And then the last video, I spent 9 hours roughly, give or take, to get to this far out of a solid chunk of steel. So I got a bit more work to do on this, but hopefully in another couple of hours I should have this to a point where I'm fairly happy. I'm actually fairly happy now. I could almost stop there now and start making the other piece, which is a possibility. And then once I've got the two together, then I can fine tune the two together, which is what I might do. But I might do a little bit more work on this for a little bit longer, just get it a bit more cleaned up, and get a wee bit more thickness out of some of these places. I want to get this a little bit thinner, just take a little bit more material out of here and maybe off here, just get it a bit more weight off it. It doesn't need to be super heavy duty, if you know what I mean. It's bloody strong. Like you're going to be really busting on it to break that. And just obviously get a bit more better in here and whatever. Maybe take a bit more, this bottom one, you've got to take a bit more meat off this to get it down finer, so it slips in between the bows a bit easier. But yeah, so I might get it just dialed down a little bit better, and then I will plan out the back part and make another hunk and take it off. But what I might do, if I can, I'm not sure if I can, but if I can, what I might do is see if I can just drill it out of that big hunk instead of chopping it off with a cutting disc. I might see if I can just drill it out and then come along with the cutting disc afterwards and cut it out. So I'm not cutting through so much stuff, so I'm not using so many cutting discs trying to cut through this 32mm plate, which is, I think, 1.1/8", I think, 32 mils, because I remember that from using truck sockets for doing wheel nuts. Pretty sure 32 or 33 is 1.1/8", I think. That sounds familiar. So yeah, it's fairly thick. And a 5-inch cutting disc, even though it's 5 inches in diameter, it's not. You're not cutting through 5 inches with it. You know what I mean? So yeah. Anyway, we'll get doing a bit more on this. The other thing is too, again, I've had in the past couple of months, a wee while ago, actually probably about two or 3 months ago, might have been about that, I started buying me coffee to help support me, and obviously teespring as well. So if you do want to buy a t-shirt and all that sort of stuff, I'll post a couple of pictures up. Actually, Arco and Heidi bought a couple of t-shirts and bits and pieces, so I've got some photos of Arco wearing one of them. And yeah, when I think he's got bought some other stuff. So when he gets that video done, I think he's going to do a video of all the different gear he's bought from a few different channels. So he's going to do a bit of a shout out for his video for us, but I know he's got a bit on his plate at the moment. So yeah, that'll be hopefully in a couple of weeks or so, like when they get through some stuff, they'll have that video up. But anyway, so yeah, the buy me a coffee, basically I think it's $5 a coffee, so you can buy multiples, and that helps support me. So in the last couple of 3 months I've had 5 people do that. Some have just bought one, some have bought up to, I think the biggest amount I've had is 5, I think. Yeah, I think 5. So I just had one come through this morning, which is really, really awesome. I haven't got the people's names on me at the moment, but what I'll do is I'll link all 5 that have bought coffees off me up in the up here somewhere on the video when I'm editing. So that's awesome, muchly appreciated. And I think I've had 2 people buy off my teespring. One was Heidi and Arco, and the other one was Wayne Reynolds. He bought, I think he bought a couple of t-shirts and a mug, I think. just from memory. And I think Arco and Heidi bought, I think it might have been 3 t-shirts or 2 t-shirts and some stickers, and they all look really awesome. I'm actually pretty happy with the merch because I haven't had I just really haven't had the spare funds to buy some stuff myself. I'd love to, but yeah, at the moment it just hasn't been sort of in my budget, if you know what I mean. Hopefully soon, once I get over a few things at the moment and get a few things sorted out, hopefully soon, like in another month or 2, I'm hoping that I should be at a point where I can not so much worried about house stuff and family stuff, and then, because we're basically resetting ourselves up again, because we don't really know when and if we're going to get to the States. I'd dearly love to, because I know Arco and Heidi desperately need a hand with what they're doing. They've got a lot on their plate, but it's just with the COVID stuff and trying to work out how to get these visas. We just keep running into doors at the moment, and I think a lot of it's to do with the COVID. But yeah, a lot of it's also lack of knowledge, and then actually trying to get somebody that's had something to do with it in recent times to actually maybe help us through it. We're still working on it, but yeah, it's sort of one of those things where just sort of let it sit on the back burner for a while and sort of see what happens with this COVID, because again, we're going through a massive lockdown. We can't go anywhere. They won't even let us out of our area, let alone out of the island, because there's like 2 main islands. We can't even fly between the islands or fly anywhere at the moment. Everything's in full lockdown. Like, we barely go to a shop and buy anything except for food or fuel if we need it. But yeah, it's one of those things. But anyway, so yeah, really appreciate the little bit of support that I've had. It's good. Every little piece helps. It makes a hell of a difference. So, and also the sponsor from C.A.R Gas. That's really cool. Unfortunately, because of COVID, they haven't had a chance to deliver the first spare bottle, but it's no biggie. I personally know the manager down here. He's a good mate of mine. He's got that 65 Chev that I went and looked at. So yeah, that will come to fruition when we get the other crap sorted out around us. So yeah, that'd be cool to have a spare bottle here all the time, plus every other fill sort of type thing. We'll get a freebie, which makes a hell of a difference, especially when we get into small whaling and stuff. But anyway, I'll carry on and I'll talk to you shortly. Alrighty guys, so you hear that ticking thing in the background? It's for all the new people. No, it's not a metronome. There's sheep in the fields, paddocks, pasture, whatever you want to call it, around us. Well, okay, I'll come outside. Come on. Oh, jeez. So there's sheep over here. That's what they're clicking things for. As you can see over in the distance. So they're all about to have lambs and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what that's for. It's just keeping the stock in different areas. Because it's cool here, you got to try and keep them in certain areas so the grass gets a chance to recover. Obviously, you probably guys that might be out in the sticks a bit over in the US and whatever might have a bit more of an idea about that. But so this is where I've got to with this. I'm getting it fairly well cleaned up now. Still a lot of finishing work to go, but I'm getting close. I'm sort of happy with maybe the thickness and that sort of stuff. I've got to do a few more trial fits and bits and pieces, but I'm almost at the point now where I might stop perfecting, if you know what I mean, and make the back half and get the 2 pieces together and then build the latch, like the wire piece, and then the handle that comes up over here and pulls down, and build that, and then probably, once I've got those pieces so fast, that obviously this will work, and I've also got to build the piece that holds this all on, then I will start the other side. So yeah, I might do a little bit more in here, and then start making the other side of this, the piece that comes up here. Actually, I'll show you. Let's get into here for a minute. Hold on. Oh, man, I'd love another laptop that I could bring here. This thing's so slow. needs an SSD in it for a start off, but it's just crap, this computer. It was alright 10 years, or not 10 years ago. 2015 I think I bought this, so it's a fair age now. And it wasn't terribly good hardware at the time, if you know what I mean. I know a lot more now about computers than I did then. But yeah, so I'm building this piece. So this piece here is the handle that locks down over with the wire. The other piece is in behind it. So I've got to build this piece, which almost looks like almost like a bone. So I've got to carve that out, and then this piece here, I don't know if you can see that. So we get the phone to focus. Sorry guys. This piece here is a separate piece that screws in or bolts in or whatever it is, or riveted on, and then that goes onto the bracket that goes onto the body, which I've still got to do as well. So I've got to make that piece, and then obviously get that piece sorted and make this handle as well. So, but I think I'm gonna make that out of 3mm plate and shape it and whatever and work it out. Maybe I'll see how I get on with that. Yeah, that might be easier just to make out of a piece of plate steel, and then add to it if I need to with a welder and whatever, just to add maybe a bit of material into here to make the hook piece, and then I'll have to find a bit of heavy gauge rod that I can make that out of. It probably doesn't need to be, actually, where's that bit of 8mm rod, where's that? I think that's overkill. But maybe a bit of 6. Yeah, this is overkill. Something about half that thickness, I think. A bit of 5mm, 4mm, something like that, or whatever. I think would be plenty. Yeah, so anyway, I'll have a little bit more clean up on here. I've just been grinding in here to try and, so then I can get in with a die grinder. I'm just using the those thick cutting discs to grind into here, and then I've just been opening it out a little bit with that, and then I'll come on with the die grinder and smooth it out. So I've just been doing that a bit, just trying to get some shape out of it, get some material out of it, get it lighter obviously. You know, I've just been fining it down a little bit. So yeah, I'll get it to, I think I'll get them to all to a certain point, and then hopefully we might be able to lock down, because this is going to take a few days to make these. And then I might be able to get hold of something like one of those little sanding, as I said, little drum type sort of sanders or something like that, that I can polish and clean it up with a bit. And I've got some rag polishing wheels that I might be able to use to help get to a really cleaned up point once I've got it sanded and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, we'll keep going on it. But yeah, I think I'll make the other half shortly. Alright, how you going guys? So I'm about due to start making this other piece, but I was just looking at this, and I think I've got my pivot point too far out. So what I might do, I mightn't do it right now, but I think I'll grind this back further, or try and drill down there so I can get a bit more out of it, and cut this off and grind that and re-drill that hole. I just think, because it's the pivot points, I think it's way too far further out. But this is basically what we've got to make here. So this here will be I think it should be fairly fast to make. Once I get this cut out, this basic shape cut out. But it's only going to have a hole in it here, hole in it there. Obviously cut the centerpiece out, and then you know, shape it and whatever. So I think that'll be pretty quick to make. Like, it should be like, right, let's start drilling this piece off here. Right here, I'm going to drill down through here. I don't know if I can get down this side. I've got a material to take off there, but it's awkward because it's right near the edge, if you know what I mean. And because it's not a dead straight piece on either side, it's very awkward to butt it up against here. I don't think I can get a drill down here. I better get around here to get the excess. Yeah, I might. I'll try. Alrighty, I got one side sort of drilled away, so at least when I run the cutting through disc through there, I'm only going through a little bit, not through so much. So now I'll go up through the side and see if I can get it off. "53 holes later, almost got the second piece." Kinda. Something like that, I think. Maybe. We'll see when we grind it down. Alrighty, so I've managed to get it off. I had to sort of cut it off by hacksaw and all that sort of stuff, but well, partly. But yeah, I've just put the piece of cardboard, the little pattern that I had made up. I just sprayed it pink on both sides so I could sort of see a little bit easier the material that I need to take off just before I even get to the main shaping, if you know what I mean. Like just to get it to the rough shape I want. And then I can start going from there and make it more like that, but it's actually hollow down in there in the middle of it. Well, hollowish, if you know what I mean. I think I've got another photo that sort of shows it a bit there. Where are we? You can kind of see it there. You can see it sort of sculpted out in there, so that's what we've got going at the moment. Right, let's get through this shit for a minute. So that's awesome. that works pretty well. Needs a little bit of fine tuning, but I'll take that. That's cool. Far out. 2.5 days to get to here. Wow. What is the time? 3 o'clock. So yeah, basically you're 2 days, or 2 and a bit. 2 days. So what are we talking? 16. We'll say today, between 17 and 18 hours. Is that right? Yeah, somewhere around about there. 17-ish hours to get to here. Oh, that's cool. Might take a little bit more out of here, but we can do that later. Now I need to basically grind a really great trench in here. I think actually before I do that, what I'll need to probably do is work out where this bracket is going to bolt onto the back of here to bolt onto the body. That's what we'll do now. So this is what I'm talking about down here. I'll just lock that focus. So I'm talking here and here. So if I'm looking up, so that's about 140, roughly centre. You know, like it's going to be close enough. If I said 175 to the centre or somewhere around about there, these 2 pickup points for this bracket. So that's here and here. So I think I'll drill those holes now when I'm this far, because I've still got a nice solid object to hold in the chuck, or in the vice, chuck, whatever you want to call it. And I reckon, actually how long are those rivets? No, I don't want those big long ones. These. Yeah, it's what, big enough? Yeah, a couple of these will do. So I set that up to take these, and we will rivet these on. So I'm going to grind a channel back in, you know, at least that far. I think I'm going to try anyway. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that, but what I might have to do is get my square, set the depth I think that I want to take, and I'll just have to keep testing it in there and make sure I don't get too low, if you know what I mean. And break through this other side. So yeah, if I just keep grinding it away and then just keep testing, and then I can clean it up. So yeah, I think that should be plenty. If we make that other bracket and just have enough to pick that up, I think that'll be perfect. So I'll drill this hole here that I've drilled through. Everything else is that size, I think. Let's pull this pin out. I'll sit you back in the phone. Back in the holder, not the phone. Jeez. Talk English, son. Make life easier for you guys. Right. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's about that size. So yeah, it just needs to open up a little bit to accept that. So if I drill those at that, and that's fairly flat, so if I just sit that flush with the top of the jaws and that vice, and at least then I know that's when I drill these, so that'll be parallel to that, and then yeah, then we can carry on from there, and then I can grind this out and make it hollow, and we'll take it. I actually think this narrows up a little bit. Well, I'm not 100% sure on that, but just in the photos, it looks like it narrows and then comes back out here. So I may end up grinding quite a bit of this back. And when I'm talking quite a bit of it, you know, maybe 5mm each side, like sort of narrowing it up and then coming back out wide here and here. I think that's what it sort of looks like to me. I'm not 100% sure on that. Again, because I haven't actually got a photo from the side, direct from the side. I'm sort of just going by what I can see. It's unfortunate, but yeah, I sort of missed. Actually, hold on. Oh, here we go. Daniel's son. Let's have a look here. What does this tell me? Oh yeah. Oh no, it is fairly regular width. Right, that gives me a pretty good shot at that. That tells me a lot. Man, that tells me a lot. Yeah. Bitchin'. That's awesome. It's not super clear, but it gives me enough detail there. Bring you back on. Right. Yeah. Okay, that gives me a little bit more idea. I'll bring the camera back around here for a second, just to give you another shot of that. So you can see what I'm seeing. Doing a lot of waffling. So that's about the only shot I've got of it sideways, sort of looking in here. So yeah, it is fairly even there. It might be a little bit tapered, and I might just taper it in a little bit when I grind it back. But you can see what I mean by the hollow. It's hollowed out. So that's cool. And it actually gives me a little bit more details on what's going on here too. So that gives me a bit more of an idea with that handly thing too. So that's cool. That gives me a bit more of an idea. It actually shows it's got a, you can't actually see that piece there from the side. So that's cool. Yeah, nah, awesome. Alright. That gives me a wee bit more detail. Right. We'll get drawn. Righty. Hopefully you can see down there, can you? Yeah. Right, might have a wee plan. I got this big 19mm drill bit, or 3/4mm drill bit, 3/4 drill bit, basically. What I'm going to do, so I'm going to drill a little bit over 1/2 inch deep, because this is a bit over 3/4 inch deep now. So I'm going to draw about 1/2 inch or a little bit more deep into here, along here in a few spots. And then I'm going to come along and drill that same depth in with this, and that will take a lot of this material out, and then I can come along there with a grinder, and I'm not trying to grind out so much material, if you know what I mean. And that'll give me a head start. So yeah, just so it's not so friggin' awkward. So I've just drilled what I think is about 13mm, 1/2 inch deep, thereabouts. So I'm just going to measure it, just make sure, so I can set, well, I can work out on the stop where I need to be, or on these. There's a measurement thing on there, so I can see. Crap on here. Right. About not quite 3/8. Yeah, I'll go a little bit further. Righty, before I run away, so I've got this far, as you can see, that's really quite hollowed out. Works. It's over here pretty much perfectly. Obviously a little bit of fine tuning and cleaning up and whatever. So what I'll do tomorrow is I'll see if I can get these surfaces nice and flat, and I'll start rounding this off, just rough it in, round it off, get a bit of shape into it so it's not so square, and then I'll move on to probably the handle piece and then the bracket. So that's what I'll do next, but yeah, got that far, so that's awesome. Morning guys, so I'm going to give this a quick grind up and round off, just a very quick one for probably, I don't know, half an hour if that. Just go around and grind all the edges and round it all off, make it a bit smoother, but sort of to the point where, you know, then we'll go into like really cleaning it up. I would like to file this a bit more and try and get it flat because it's not very even at the moment. A few things like that, but I'm just going to go over it and round it all off, just get all the sharp edges off it, and maybe just put a little bit of shape into these sort of areas, take a little bit more weight off it type thing. It needs a wee bit more grinding in here. It's got a few marks in the drills still, so I know I've still got plenty of meat to take it out of there. So we'll get a bit more meat out of there at some point. But I really want to get into making either the bit that bolts on or the latch. I might make the latch first and then make that piece last to bolt it on. And then obviously we're going to work out the other piece to get into the body, the mounting point. But yeah, and then we're going to do the process all over again. So I'll get this cleaned up. I'm going to keep it pretty brief because I want to try and, I've sort of got a video half put together, and it's longish, but I need probably another 15 minutes of footage, I suppose, and then I'll end up with about a 40-minute video thereabouts, or maybe a little bit longer than that. So I want to get this cleaned up, and yeah, then I'll plan out what I need to do to make this handle piece. See if I can get my head around that bit and see what the sort of shape it is. Obviously I've got to go grind it out to fit the like it'll have to go over this backbone and all that sorts of things, so it'll have to be ground out sort of like that to lock down over here when we make that. So that'll take a little bit of planning, but anyway, I'll stop waffling and get into this. Alrighty, that'll do for now. I've given that a fairly good clean up. It still needs a bit more filing over there to get it flatter, that edge. That side's pretty good. I've rounded the edges off a little bit. I'll probably take a little bit more meat off this way, just through that centre section. And once I've done that, I might even file it down flattish again. And then obviously polish it up from there and sand it. But yeah, I'll grind it down a little bit more, just take a little bit more meat out of it, not a lot, a little bit. And obviously when we get a bit more into perfection, we'll really smooth it off, round it off. See if we can find some way of getting in here getting that nice. It's not bad, but like it needs quite a bit more finishing work in there yet. That's well, hopefully we can lock down level 3 and back into level 3 next week down here, so I might better get some sort of sanding, sort of drums and little flappy wheels and stuff. Hopefully I might better get something that'll fit in here, and then I can just run it up and down there with on a die grinder or drill and really get that sort of polished up and cleaned up. But yeah, and I might have to just die grind in here to get this a bit down a wee bit further in this here, so these holes are sort of flattish and evenish. I'll work on that one. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that'll do for the meantime. The rest of it's just perfection. Perfecting it. Not perfection, but yeah, perfecting the perfection, or close as can get. So we'll work out this next piece. Well, I think I've got a plan here for this. So this is the handle piece at the bottom. This will come up. This will probably be tapered in more than that, but it's just giving me a guide to try and drill the holes around here to get that out. And then obviously this side here will be looking in this direction. Then I've got to cut all that away as well. So it's going to take some doing. But yeah, I need the width this way. It should be really, really close to being the right depth to come out here and come down here like that. But I've got another couple of photos up here just to give you a better idea. So yeah, like that. You can sort of see that one. There's another photo here somewhere. Yeah, there. You can sort of see. Focus on there better. So yeah, that's what it looks like. So it sort of shows what I'm trying to make here. I've got that photo pretty well zoomed in, so it's a bit blurry, but it gives me a good idea of what I'm building between those photos. So I'll get drilling and see if I can get this out, and hopefully I'm going to try and get this together today. I actually wish I had, I can have a hunt around and see if I can find some rod in here that's a bit smaller than that, because that's 8mm, I think, probably 6 mil, whatever that works out to be in inches. I'm not 100% sure. Let's have a look here. 6mm is, what's this? So that's roughly 6mm. So 0.23-ish of an inch, whatever that is in fractions. I'm not sure. But anyway, so that's about what I want to go in here. Well, yeah, in this bit to, I think I just need something a little bit smaller. I've drilled it out to about, I think it's not quite 8mm, it's like 7 point something. So a bit of that, like a 6mm bit of rod, and obviously bend it around in that shape and clean it up. Should be perfect, I think. But yeah, we'll get the cut in this. Righty, so I got this drilled, so we can cut this off here, and then I'll grind the worst of the drill bits off, and then it'll go back in the drill press to shape it the other way, hopefully. and get rid of the worst of the meat that way. Through now, cool. Just gotta cut this shit off. That was a wee fight. It's fun though. Not really. Yeah, it was. Stop lying. Jason talks some crap. I know. He made me do it. Who did? I don't know. Some fella. Right. Clamp that in there. And we'll try and cut some of the shit off it. Something like that anyway. And then it might be lunchtime. Alright. Talking at lunchtime. Righty everybody. So this is where I'm at. I've got this ground down to here. And shape to here. I obviously haven't grooved anything out to fit over this piece or anything yet. I've just got it roughed in so the steel's clean and I haven't got too many drill marks and all that sort of stuff. Got rid of the worst of it, except for probably a little bit on here, but that doesn't matter because it's going to be all ground back and shaped anyway. So I've still got a constant, that's my original edge of the steel, so I know if I measure anything up from that edge, I'm good. And I've still got the original thickness there at the moment because I will have to drill a hole through here, wherever it is, through the back here, a bit of wire. So before I go too much further, I can still clamp that in my vise to drill that hole. So I will work that out shortly, where that needs to be after lunch now. So yeah, it's because once I ground all that away, I lose that the capability of being able to hold that dead square, if you know what I mean, and get a nice parallel drill hole through there. So yeah, so that'll be one of the next things I'll work out. But yeah, I've got that all ground down to there. So yeah, when I'm measuring and working out exact dimensions, I can measure off this edge here, because that's constant, and obviously this is square as well, so, and the other base. So I'll work out where I sort of need to go from here, and then I will start shaping again. So get obviously the hole in there and bits and pieces, so that will probably just go down a little bit, but yeah. So we're getting there. Hopefully by the end of today, I should have this, well, I'm pretty sure I'll have this fairly roughed out sort of to this point and this point, and then yeah, then I've got to find some rod or something to make a little joining link, and then obviously after that, probably Monday, I'll start making the piece to hold it, and then we'll repeat the process again for everything. Righty, we'll catch you later on. Righty, I think I just saved my phone. I think all the grinding dust and shit just even was sitting over there on the tripod. I think it got into the microphone, so I had to blow it out about 3 or 4 times because it sounded like absolute garbage. It was just full of static. But anyway, so this is where I got to because I've already recorded this, and then I went to listen to it and it sounded like shit. So yeah, I've got this far. I did have to build the end of it up a little bit with a wee bit of weld, just to try and get the cam built up enough. Just wasn't quite deep enough, but it's looking good. I think I've got the odd geometry right for this to work, so hopefully when it gets to about here, it'll lock itself down when I pull it down and it won't pop back up. I'm hoping. If not, we'll just have to build it up with a little bit more weld and trying to get it so it snaps in properly. Obviously got to do quite a bit of shaping to this piece. I think I've got it. I was actually, Dave from Australia sent me some more photos. Yeah, he said this is only 20 mils wide. Unfortunately, I couldn't pick that up through the photos. It doesn't really matter that it's about 30 mils wide. At the end of the day, I can grind it down a little bit. So it's going to be a bit fat, but it doesn't matter. Apparently this channel in here is meant to have like a rubber in it, or so it doesn't rattle against the paintwork. And same on here. So what I might do is these peaks, I'm going to grind them down and really flatten these off quite a lot, and get rid of them and just round that off nicely. Because we'll put a bit of foam in here too. He's got foam on his. He's got a not this one, but he's got another car that's like a 1918 or thereabouts, and it's got foam in it. I've got photos on the phone, so when I do the editing, I'll pop it up. So yeah, this is how far we've got. So we're still going to make that bracket to pick up here, and we're still going to finish this off, and we're still going to make the wire, but we're getting really, really close, so I'm cool. I'm stoked with that. Glad we got the sound working back on my phone again too, because I was a bit worried about that. It's like, man, I'm screwed. But anyway, so yeah, that's cool. Bit more shaping to do on this, and we'll be done with that piece, and then make the wire and the bracket, and we should be good. And then I can start making the other side, and obviously then get into doing the finish on these and get them really cleaned up so they can be nickel plated or whatever we do with them in the end. So yeah, but that's cool. That's where we're at to now. Cheers. What I found a good use for the failed roof bow. Log splitter handle. Works quite well. I've still got to put a wedge in the bottom of it, but